Good morning, ED 6317. I am looking forward to providing feedback on your literacy research papers that you posted early this week, and you should be hearing back from me no later than Wednesday. I wanted to talk to you about Module 4, which is really kind of pulling things together from your research. So in Module 3, you worked to identify areas of need to help address student performance issues to close the gaps in your prospective communities. In Module 4, you're going to be working to develop your reading program that will address the issues that you highlighted in your paper using a research-based solution. So in this module, you start working really on how you will develop a program that continuously monitors and to improve literacy success in your community. So in the first assignment, Module 4, Assignment 3, the data for curriculum and instruction, I really want to kind of go over what that would look like. You will create a Word document where you will share the procedure by which you plan to identify the appropriate reading program for your district or campus based on your research from the previous module. What data will you use to decide what is best for your campus? I'm going to list any and all available materials of curriculum and instruction that you might use, and you're going to list those there. You may link to this on your website later. You will be building a website to put all of this together at the end of the program, and I will show you what one looks like here shortly, a finished product. I think that might help you as you move forward. So what is the data for the CNI project? You're really using Bean's suggestions from the text. So I'm going to ask you to refer back to the Reading Specialist text, really pay particular attention to Chapter 9, Assessment of Classroom and School Reading Programs, page 220. And you're really going to refer to this as you begin to think about the curriculum process. You might also look at Chapter 8, Developing a School Literacy Program, page 191, where it talks about a needs assessment, which you did last module, and the selection of materials that you might use to implement your program. So the program needs to have a measure by which you can measure success. And that might be quantitative or qualitative. Also, you want to refer to the Administration and Supervision of Reading Programs text as well. Go back and review Chapter 7, Selecting Materials for the Literacy Program, because part of your assessment needs to look at your curriculum and instruction measures, and then also the professional development component, and then finally the most critical piece that I think would be most beneficial for this assignment is referring to Chapter 10, Assessing Student Reading Achievement. This will provide some good guidelines on how you might look at measuring and evaluating your program improvement, which really also refer to Part 2, page 145, the role of the literacy specialist, evaluation change, and program improvement. So this really looks at standards, how to analyze the data, provides a case study, and the assessment piece, and then how to evaluate. So you're really wanting to think about some evaluations, and that might be, if you look on page 158, there's an assessing reading attitude, so it could be a reading attitude instrument. I'm going to share some this morning that you might look at. It could also be measuring student progress in regards to comprehension, word development. It could just be their attitude toward writing. It could also be an evaluation for professional development. So how are you going to measure your program? It could also be, part of it could be participation or enrollment, outreach, so it could be surveys that you use, that you develop. There are many methods for evaluating the program that you will be developing. So there are two pieces to this. The first piece is the curriculum and instruction part. The second piece is the data that will provide evidence and also serve as an evaluation measure for the program that you will develop. So this should be a Word document that is, 4 or 5 pages that really looks at the data piece and the curriculum and instruction part. You always want to go back and start with your objectives and the standards. So go back and look at what you've done previously. Now you have looked at research, you've talked to people in your district. You should be kind of revamping your framework and really narrowing down on how this can be implemented. Then you're also going to think about the methods for the individual projects. So you have your curriculum and instruction ideas, you have data that you're going to collect as evidence, okay? And then your method is, these are the organizational strategies that you will use to implement the reading program. So how are you going to roll this out? Okay, you are the change agent, so what strategies will you use to implement the reading program in the school? You're also going to think about not only reading but writing strategies that can be used in the classroom to support your program. You're going to describe some other methods used to choose an effective school committee to ensure success of that program. So you should have some type of committee that involves multiple stakeholders to really look and to champion the program that you're developing. And then will you need professional development? What kind? And if you are going to have committees, who will be on those committees? What will their role be? When will you meet? Where will you meet? Why is it important? So the purpose of the committees is important. You don't have to have links. You may later when you develop your website. The last thing you're going to work on this week is I would like for you to review how to set up a Google site. You will be developing a Google site for this reading program. You'll also will be printing all these materials out and putting them in a binder that you will have to help you as you move forward. This is really important. I had a student last week actually interview for the top reading specialist position in a very wealthy school district. And the reason she was selected was because of her work in this class, the reading program that she developed. She had her website, but she also had the binder. The website landed her the interview, and that really helped her during the interview process. So I really hope that you take time to learn how to use Google Sites. There is a tutorial there posted for you. So I thought it would be helpful to look at an example from a previous class. One of my favorite ones was our Reading Specialist of the Year. Evidence was Carmen. She created a Creating Better Readers program. On her homepage, she has her vision statement along with a graphic of the roles. The roles are clearly identified. She has her administrator roles listed, the reading specialist, the classroom teachers, the parents, and she references everything. Also on her homepage, there is a link to the curriculum and instruction piece, the assessment, and the professional coaching. If you notice on her curriculum and instruction page, she has a links to the TEKS, to the ELPS, to the national standards, to SIOP, and then strategies that she's going to use. Her paper was very detailed, but she has lots of visuals to help support her reading program that teachers can refer to. She has an assessment page. The assessment page has a detailed assessment plan in which she will be collecting evidence. This evidence will be both formal and informal assessments that she will use along with external links. And she had a more detailed plan here on a Google Doc that is not public. And then she has a professional coaching page with her presentation here that really that she shared with the class, and you will be doing the same thing, along with her resume here as well that she has. Okay. Another example is called Dynamic Solutions. This was created by another one of our students. And Arturo, and he has his vision clearly labeled here, along with the roles. His curriculum and instruction page has the standards, procedures, data sources. The method is using a model that is the ADDIE model, along with some reading and writing strategies that the teachers will be learning about, professional development pieces, district level instructional resources, and additional resources to help with implementation, and then his research. And again, he has his paper here that is private. His assessments here are here as well. The assessment plan, again, is both formal and informal assessment measures. You need both. And his professional coaching page. I hope that both of these examples will help you kind of see a final picture. So each piece that you're building will be supported. So everything we've been working on, you're going to move it to this Google site. So the curriculum and instruction part is really looking at, okay, what's the instructional models that you're going to be using? What are the strategies that teachers will be implementing? What strategies will you be implementing in your program, along with an assessment piece. The assessment piece needs to both have your formal and informal assessment measures, and then a method in the curriculum instruction. What's the method for rolling this out? Okay, how are we rolling it out? What are the what committees will you have? These are all things that you'll be thinking about. And again, you can refer to both of your texts here. Okay, I'll be creating some more videos about this later on. I just think that it is helpful to see kind of a whole product as you're moving forward. Also, I will be traveling this week some, so our office hours will be Thursday. And I'll post that in the window, but I will be available via email. I'm wrapping up my last observation visits this week. Okay, let me know how I can support you, and I look forward to providing feedback on your paper. Have a great week.